light pulsating sun, red Kachina, green orb, multiple object star family. So just so you know, make sure my camera, I like to do this all the time.
Bluetooth ready for connection.
Let's see.
Bluetooth connected.
So we go zoom. We'll zoom in, we go right here. You just stay right here for a second. See the pulsating sun? Look at the building. The building is not pulsating. The building is not pulsating. The light pole is not moving. You see, that's not an aperture on my camera. That's actually this light pulsating in the sky. This is what's happening. Like a heartbeat, like a pulse. When they say men's heart would fail themselves, 2 lens flares to the right, multiple lens flares as well to the left when I move them side to side. Green orb stationary at the top. Star family popping. This is an amazing time to be alive. I did a UV reading today, February the 20th. I loaded it up on Instagram. I will load it up on YouTube as well. But I did a UV reading today, and I know they're going to shadow ban that video as well as this one. But the UV reading over here in Philly is a 7.5, and we didn't even hit the spring equinox yet, my people, and we already at 7.85 UV index A and B, and UVC radiation was a 22. UVC radiation was a 22, and we are not even in the spring yet, my people. The sun is separating us. You must have the blood of the sun and awareness of the universe in order to move forward in what we call the age of Aquarius, the great awakening, where the truth is more disturbing than the lie. This is happening, my people. There's nothing that anyone can do about this. You can sit here and say, I'm doing camera tricks. You can do whatever you want. But this is popping. Right?
Georgia. Where are you from?
India.
China. Ma'am, where are you from? China. China. Yeah. China.
Yes.
China. Georgia.
China.
You see the one in the red? Oh, that was set up, people. You see it with the black and red on?
Collapsed as she was waiting to be processed by Border Patrol. She hit the ground. Border Patrol ran over to her. She ended up getting taken away in an ambulance. She was fully alert, fully conscious, unknown what her medical issue was there, but Neil, it goes without saying, whatever her medical bills are, they will be paid for by taxpayers out here in California. And back out here live, the number of Chinese nationals here cannot be overstated. It used to be very rare. I've been covering the border for over 3 years now. We never saw Chinese nationals back in like 2021, early 2022. Now we are seeing them by the hundreds every day just here in the San Diego sector. CBP sources telling us just in the last 24 hours alone here in the San Diego sector, more than 200 Chinese nationals have crossed illegally.
My bad, people.
Staggering numbers, my friend. Thank you, Bill, for that. Don't lose.
So think about that, my people. Think about that for 1 second. Paul. Now, you've seen that shit for yourself. China, India, China, India, and then the lady in the red, I forgot where she said she was from, but she was in all red, and that shit don't look like somebody that was crossing the border. That shit looked like that was fresh out of J. Crew or Neiman's Marcus. Understand and overstand what you just saw there. Declare message, hey, the red sun is here. China and Taiwan get ready to get it in. North Korea going to jump in that. And look for things to even escalate more with Ukraine and Russia, because they just told you Russia took a major part of Ukraine. Now, understand something. I thought Russia was losing the war. How did Russia just take another major part of Ukraine, but they're losing? So many of their soldiers are dying or whatever the case may be. Listen, I just want to tell y'all, those that have forgotten their past are deemed to repeat it. Slavery will repeat itself only if you choose to walk around in fear. That's all I'm going to tell you. Slavery will repeat itself. This is psychological slavery that we are living under, and they want to keep you under psychological. Go through this here
been taught is a massive lie. Before the civilization we have today, there was another civilization that's been hidden from us. The Tartarian Empire was a civilization that was far more advanced than us, but in a different way. They had harnessed the ability to use atmospheric energy. They incorporated it into all of their buildings and were able to create free energy for everyone at all times. They had also harnessed the power of frequencies and were able to build grand architecture by manipulating substances and moving huge rocks through vibration. Hence the Great Pyramids and many other unexplainable architectural anomalies that were created in the past. The free energy was a threat to the massive oil industry and all the profits they were able to generate from the scarcity of oil. So the owners of this industry, who were extremely powerful, created a plan to take out this civilization and wipe them from history so nobody would ever know about free energy. They destroyed all their architecture and technology and did their best to cover up any evidence that the Tartarians ever existed. That is why. The history we've all... Okay, so...
Buried it.
One war, and I'm gonna do some searching. The war against
Flooded
Tartaria. All right, that's a war that we have not covered. We covered the war against Atlantis, the war against Tartaria, and these reptilian, whatever species of beings they are. They're not indigenous to this planet, to this universe, to this galaxy, to the star system. They're not. All right. They caused. There was a war that happened, and it was a lot of them. All right. That ship that landed in Greenland that we talked about. Let's go to that one. Let's go to that one.
These weather anomalies are going around the world. The ice in North Pole has completely melted, and in Greenland, they found a huge 200-mile UFO. How many of you know about the oxygen in Greenland? A couple of you, okay. For those of you that don't know, there is a spacecraft that has melted out of the ice in Greenland. As you know, the North Pole has melted completely. You go from London to Moscow or Russia, like we'll go to the North Pole. All the ice cap is gone. The last place that has ice is Greenland. Greenland had a 18,000-foot ice cap on it. Well, the spacecraft that is anchored in the center of Greenland created the last ice age 50,000 years ago. It's it's 55 miles wide, 300 miles long, and 2 miles high. So originally were called the Moist. You draw a straight line from the spacecraft to the Washington Monument in Washington, D.C., and you can Peninsula, Great Pyramid, and this movie, the Anson Island of Illinois, dug out of the earth. You guys on Easter Island? 2 years ago, the county went ahead and excavated. They're all 65 to 85 foot people, whole body parties. And these are the people that live in the spacecraft that was uncovered that's melting out of the ice in Greenland. So when you think we've been alone, these people have been up there for 50,000 years. The spacecraft is still active after 50,000 years. It has a 200-mile dampening field where no electrons can flow into it. In 1947, a B-52 bomber flew into that pattern, into the dampening field, and tried to fly between Maine and London. As a result of that, they lost power and crashed in Greenland. As they sent in rescue B-52 bombers to rescue them, they hit that same dampening field, and they veered off. They just ricocheted off of it by testing, trying to get to these guys. They were able to bring a circumference and find out that there was an object 200 miles to the center of this field. On the southwest border of Greenland, there is a small community, it's the only community on Ohio and Greenland. That community is a military called CIA that uses a compressed air generator to operate diesel engines to run a Caterpillar run back and forth 200 miles from the base. A lot of our technology comes from the reverse engineering. It is still functional. It is still in operation. So it's pretty important to me. All the nations go to this universe. I completely apologize for the music, but that
You can see here an anomaly at the southern end of Greenland. This object was found under melting ice. And this was posted 4 years ago, and I'm pretty sure the video is from even an older time because it's not this guy.
That black thing in the center of the world is the tallest mountain on Earth, far more taller than Mount Everest. It's the Rupes Nigra, or the Black Rock, also known as Mount Zion. Some people also call it Mount Zion. You wouldn't find this massive mountain in existence in mainstream science and media because it's deliberately concealed, because if the world knew that there is such a huge mountain in the center of the Earth, it would change the course of history. This includes the true nature of our world will be rewritten, and that will undo the globe-shaped Earth theory and the entire timeline of the Earth from the beginning, and they don't want that. Look how the wind stream passes through that mountain. It blocks the wind stream because of its height and size. The Rupes Nigra, or the Black Rock, described by Makata as 33 French miles long, or roughly 40 miles in diameter. It is reportedly explained why all compasses point to this location. The biggest shareholder of all the major companies in the world is BlackRock. It's named after this mountain. Do you?
Mount Zion.
all he's talking about is 120-something feet high. Just so you know. So, bang, bang.
But yeah, effectively a wall on one side of your ship, as far as you can see, near the Antarctic coastline. And then about 2 years ago, it came loose and has been working its way out of the sea ice. And just earlier, a few months ago, we were there, as you can see in the footage, and it is now making its way northwards out into the open ocean.
Wow, I'm just putting my glasses on there to look at that a little bit. It's almost like a little bit blue along the ridge with the water. Is that just a reflection, or is that actually the color of the ice?
Yeah, I think that is largely a reflection, but you can get some absolutely beautiful ice. This ice here is largely white. That's due to tiny air bubbles that are actually trapped inside the ice, which actually have a really great scientific purpose for actually allowing us to measure the air from thousands of years ago.
Okay, that's enough of you talking heads. Vambo, you guys know what's really going on here. This is not just some iceberg breaking off from a fake-ass continent called Antarctica. This is the ice wall that surrounds our entire realm. You guys know the process, you know the procedure, you know what it is. We're not on a round ball flying through space. We're on an infinite realm of concentric rings. There's a center and everything moves out from the center, just like a dartboard, just like a clock. And on the outer edge of our dartboard clock realm, there is an ice wall that separates us from the other ponds in the realm on the infinite plane. But family, it's not supposed to be ice. That used to just be lands with a whole civilization on it, because there's civilization on all the rings, just like in Halo. When the fallen came crashing and lowered the frequency of our reality. Remember, they brought death into the system. What is death? It's when atoms stop moving, so they contract and become ice. There's no such thing as cold. Cold is the absence of heat. It's when the atoms stop moving, they contract and come together and solidify. It's low frequency. When the atoms start moving, I told you, the coefficient of friction is heat. The frequency rises because the atoms are moving more frequently. It's all frequency. So don't believe these goofballs for a second when they're talking about Antarctica like it's a continent and a freaking chunk of ice broke off. It's the size of Rhode Island. How big is this continent?
Thinking like this, our families would be better off.
Please do not address me as a strong, independent Black woman. It's not a compliment. I never hear a man that is raising children alone say, I'm mom and dad. He never becomes overly feminine because he's raising children. But we as women become overly masculine because we are raising children, because I'm mom and dad and I got to do all these things, right? And now I put extra stuff on me, and then I say, ain't nobody helping me. Well, nobody told you to do that. There is help available. I didn't have to be mom and dad, because when you think of something strong, you do not think of coming to the aid of it. So when we are looked at and walk around as strong, what we're putting out is, I do not need assistance. I don't need your help. So anytime a man says, oh, I love it, you're so strong, I said, no, I'm not strong. I'm resilient. I'm not independent. I'm interdependent.
After that, all she had to do was drop the mic. Once we get outside,
must have been angry, we were all congregating, outside his home. And so these agents go from a calm walk to, a manic sprint. and they quickly grab a hold of me. The military personnel ups their weapons into position, and I mean, I just remember, like, as they were dragging me out of there, seeing that beast once more as he just emerged out of that cave with an incredible ferocity and rage, and the military just unleashes gunfire onto this poor thing, and as they're rushing me into the back of a chopper, I just see the horrific damage this beast was inflicting onto these men. And, you know, I was sitting there once more, sort of full of guilt, unscathed. Couldn't help but kind of feel he must have been angry, you know.
People goes X-ray flux. February 22nd had an X flare, and within that 8-hour window, we had another X flare. These are 8-hour increments right here. X flare and another X flare. The planet is changing. These are ionized particles that are separating the electrons from around the atom, exposing the atom. And as soon as this X flare hit, it was picked up immediately on Earth Aviation. Earth Aviation monitors the charged particles, the protons that are coming from the sun, masculine energy. And those protons, those ionized charged particles, your fingers are the electrons. Separate the electrons from around the atom, exposing the atom, the center of the atom. And the atom is being, the protons, neutrons, and electrons in your atoms are changing. There will be no more neutrons in the atom. The atom is vibrating differently. This is where God said that he will bring fire instead of flooding the earth the next time. That he didn't really literally mean fire on a stove or fire at a fucking barbecue or fire that burns down a house.
We're not going to go into he and the she and all the other crazy shit. Just understand that we're not going to do that. And know that the fire was talking about something the devil was going to try to do, but the devil did reverse it on some sucker shit. So do listen up.
Literally meant the radiation. It literally meant the charged particles. That is worse than, let me explain something to you. The charged particles that's coming from the planet is worse than being burnt by a lighter or fire, of the fire that we know today. It's worse. It's worse. See? It's worse.
And we're not going to go with that he or she stuff. Understand it's a balance of masculine and feminine energy.
So he said, when I return, there will be fire when I return. This is why other races of people, the eukaryotic cell organism, are heating up from the inside out because they can't regulate their body temperature because they can't biosynthesize the sun. So this here is turning from the earth, and this here let off a X flare. This here is turning towards Earth, and they said this hole is big enough to fit 3 or 4 Earths inside of it. Not only that, it's enough energy that's going to spew out of there that's going to change the vibratory frequency of the planet, and that is turning towards Earth, and it's not here yet. So now we go over here. Look at this here. We go over to 222.24 magnetopause. Look at the daytime pressure. Look at the Earth is in the middle. Look at the daytime pressure. Look at all this radiation up hitting the the dome. Look at the energy field that is supposedly protecting us from harmful solar radiation. They never been on this planet or witnessed this planet without an ozone layer. We have, though. We have. So look at the backside. Look at all this energy on the backside. This is the nighttime side of the earth, my people. Look at all of this energy. Where is this coming from? If the sun is over here and the energy is coming from here, cosmic particles, what is this? So then we go over to solar wind. Solar wind. It's not like the solar wind is not showing something different. We go over to solar wind. Now, when you go over to solar wind, 222.24, you look at the solar wind and you say, well, damn. The arrows represent solar wind, the cosmic particles, cosmic particles that are coming from the sun. You see this bone shock right here? This is representing the magnetopause. It's just whatever this is on the nighttime side of the planet. And you look at the arrows as they are coming in and they're swooping back into the planet. They're literally swooping. Look at the directions. Look, straight here. Some of them are swooping around this way. Some of them, they coming down. Look at this. So whatever is here, it's like these cosmic particles are bouncing off and going around it. You see, these are going around it. This right here, going around it. This right here are sending these back in. This is sending, and look at the distance, people. So whatever this is, it is powerful, it is strong, and it is emitting a lot of charged particles to the planet right now. Whatever, oh, they coming down. Look at this. So whatever is here, it's like these cosmic particles are bouncing off and going around it. You see, these are going around it. This right here, going around it. This right here are sending these back in. This is sending, and look at the distance, people. So whatever this is, it is powerful, it is strong, and it is emitting a lot of charged particles to the planet right now. Whatever this is on the nighttime side of the planet. Get ready for that eclipse, my people. Get ready for that solar eclipse. Abundance and gratitude.
A bunch of toys you love.
Talk to you about Wilkes Land.
What I've heard that it's a portal. Portal takes you from one structure to another or to a vessel outside our atmosphere, like an invisible elevator. This particular portal was underground, inside a structure.
What did it look like?
It had a frame, had hieroglyphics, whatever the meanings were, we still don't know. But the structure or the frame of this portal acted like a wormhole from point A to point B, a moon pool.
A moon pool?
The description I've been told looks just exactly like a moon pool.
Okay, what is a moon pool?
A moon pool, say it's in a submarine that's very deep. You've got a hatch in the floor that is open to the sea. Water does not come in and flood the vessel. The ambient pressure keeps that water, but you can enter the water and ascend from it through this moon pool.
And so, do you mean that, using the word moon pool, that you're saying that there's something that's vertical that looks like a moon pool?
It looks like you're walking into the water, but it's not water.
Shape?
The ones I've been described of is square.
Square?
Yes, ma'am. It would be, I'm sure you've seen the movie Stargate. Exactly same thing, except the frame is square, not round.
Hey babies, it's Mama T back with another one. You know, there's a lot of buzz going on about the vibration and the frequency that's happening tonight and tomorrow. It's called the Muhurta, I believe it's called. It's a Vedic astrological alignment when the sun and the galactic center and the star system Sirius is all aligned, and it's a really powerful time to really tap in and to release energy, right, and get in alignment. But I'm gonna tell
just take a look at this clip from Dr. Taylor Marshall.
And then the really interesting part in her prophecy is that Peter and Paul will have an apparition. They will somehow proclaim the gospel.
Hinting us on the 3 days of darkness, not only through the Old Testament, but also the New Testament.
They told us, sorry, we can't take you. So I just went back to my room, laid back down, and went back to sleep. Hello, everyone, brothers, sisters in Christ.
We don't do that Mr. J stuff and all that jazz. She don't know, forgive her.
So I was around 21, and I was staying at a homeless shelter for youth, actually. And so one morning, I got up. This is real life. This is not the dream yet. One morning I got up. I wanted to go to church. And some of the staff at the facility had told us, if we can get a van, we'll take, if there's a bunch of y'all want to go, we'll take you to church. So I got up, I got ready. And then for some reason or another, they were not able to secure the van. So they told us, sorry, we can't take you. So I just went back to my room, laid back down, and went back to sleep. So this is when the dream starts. In the dream, it's like a few minutes later. Like in the dream, I'm dreaming that I'm waking back up. And it's the same day someone is knocking on my door telling me, hey, Mr. D said he's going to take us to church. You still want to go? So I get up. I'm still dressed, and everything. I'm still pretty much ready to go. So I get up. I go outside. And there's this huge bus waiting to take us to church. And Mr. D was this, very godly, very God-fearing believer. And so he was driving the bus and he was taking us to church, right? So I get on the bus and there's a lot of other people that I don't even recognize. And obviously this is a Sunday morning. So I'm on the bus with all these other people. Mr. D is driving. And all of a sudden, again, it's like, time regular church services usually start around 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning. All of a sudden, it's a bright, sunny day, and it starts to get dark. Out of nowhere, it just starts getting very, very dark very quickly out of nowhere. And it wasn't like there's a thunderstorm coming type of darkness. It was darker. And the onset of it was a lot more quick than something like, normal. So people on the bus started to get scared. People wanted to go out of the bus. People wanted to get off the bus because they were getting nervous. And, he's driving and they're like, I don't know if we should stay on the bus. Some people were going to stay. Some people wanted to get off. So Mr. D stops the bus and he says, anybody that wants to get off can get off. The rest of us are going to church. So I remember in the dream, I was on the fence. I didn't know if I should stay or if I should get off. And then I see this boy that actually at the time in real life stayed at the same facility that I stayed at. And he was the only person besides Mr. D on the bus that I recognized. And he gets up, he gets off the bus. So for some odd reason, I got up and followed him off the bus. So after I got off the bus, Mr. D pulls off. They leave. They drive off into the darkness. And I'm standing there alone because the boy that I followed off the bus, he's nowhere to be found at this point. I don't see him anywhere. So I'm alone and it's getting darker and darker and darker. Like by the second, it's turning like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just a darkness that is abnormal darkness. And again, it was just broad daylight, right? So
Order your free $100 telescope now.
I began to walk and I see a girl running. I don't know where she running to, but she's obviously just as scared as I am, and maybe she knows a place of safety. I start following her. I start chasing after her. I'm running, trying to catch up with her, but I lose her. I don't see her anymore. So when I stop and look around me, now it's so dark, I can barely make out figures around me. It's not like a regular nighttime darkness where your eyes adjust and, there's moonlight and starlight and street lights and you can see things. It was pitch black. And I'm looking around. I'm scared doesn't even begin to describe it. And let me just interject here and say this is one of those dreams because of the way it started and the way it felt. Like I told you, in real life, I had woken up, got ready for church, wasn't able to go, went back to sleep. In the dream, it's the same day, the same time. I get back up wearing the same clothes. I'm in the Covenant house, the facility that I lived at the time, and you know, things are just progressing forward like it's a normal day at first. This dream felt so real. So to say I was scared, I was afraid, understatements. Like you can't even fathom the level of fear, dread, terror that I felt. Even after I woke up, I was still shaking and shaken. Like I was just, that's how real it felt, and that's how terrifying this experience was. So back to the dream, I'm standing there, it's pitch black, and I can barely make out like a group of men dressed all in black, really dark figures, can't make out their faces, can't see anything about them except that they're dressed all in black and they're really, really, really dark, menacing, threatening figures, a group of them, like, I don't know, like 10 of them, I want to say. It's like they just appeared out of nowhere, like, and they set their sights on me. They began to make menacing and threatening gestures toward me at first, and I got really, really scared. And then I started running, and they started chasing me. I ran faster, they ran faster. I could not get away from these beings. I ended up trapped. I ended up falling down, not being able to get up, and trapped. And they just surrounded me. They began to, like, I was stuck in this small crevice, like between two really, really, really close buildings, where I was just stuck, like a gangway, if you know what that is. Not a alleyway, but like a gangway where, like in bigger cities, like I'm in St. Louis, some of the older houses in the cities are like literally so close you have to turn sideways just to walk down between them. That's a gangway. So I for some reason ran down one of these and fell and got stuck and couldn't. And even in this tight, enclosed space, they began to pile in, one on top of the other, to get to me. And they had knives, they had other weapons, and they were communicating with each other without talking. Like they were looking at each other and like devising a plan, like who was going to get to do what to me, like who was going to get to cut me, who was going to get to burn me. It was just like, it was terrifying. Like there are no words to describe the level of fear that I had in this dream.
From around the world, pray for them. Please email your prayer request to my bedroom, and my sister and I were sleeping on beds parallel to each other. It was nighttime and the lights were off. But in my dream, my sister was talking out loud. I had the impression that she was either praying or reading the Bible out loud. I remember it being late and I was so tired and I just wanted to sleep. So I told her that she should go outside and do what she was doing. But then there was a big earthquake and my sister was scared. I was then talking with my sister in an urgent voice. In my dream, I knew of what was to follow after this, and that was the 3 days of darkness. My dream then switched to me being in a dark and scary place that was a building of some sort, and I was trying to get away from this evil man. He looked very demonic or perhaps possessed, and I was trying to escape from him, inflicting harm on me. I managed to barely get away and escape. I found myself then going down a spiral staircase to get away. I remember asking the Lord to reveal what this dream meant because I knew that the first part of the dream was very significant. I remember telling my best friend about my dream. That
we don't pray to the Lord or anything like that. We don't pray to none of those names and so forth. Big all.
It was an earthquake and that the 3 days of darkness were coming next. The next day, the Lord gave me confirmation by showing me a video that right away I knew was from the Lord because of the title. I also feel that I was the bride that had managed to escape. The video that popped up on my screen said an earthquake, 3 days of darkness is coming, the connection to the escape of the bride. I really felt that this fits into my dream and how it relates to the 3 days of darkness. I also had a vision and rapture dream last year, both on the same day, December 23rd of 2022. I woke up from my sleep and I needed to use the bathroom. I was tired and I did not want to get up, so I shut my eyes for a few seconds. While I was still awake, I had a vision of a closed door. It came to me, and there was bright lights that were illuminating around the door frame. The light was coming from the inside out. Then the Lord came to speak to me in a still and quiet voice, letting me know that He is coming, and He is coming soon. Jesus is at the door.
So the devil is going to try to pop up on the scene to become their world president.
Please share these experiences with the channel family. From your sister in Christ, Nancy.
We don't deal with that either. So basically what's going on is that the devil's going to pop on the scene, become their president, world president, all his destruction and stuff in the 3 days of darkness. Who do you think's behind the earth at night? Nibiru. And some other structures are all lining up. And what's about to happen? Earthquake. And then what's going to happen? The devil come down and act like, oh, he had nothing to do with this shit, give you a whole new name and say, oh yeah, I got the solution. But he the one that caused a problem. And many of y'all gonna fall for him. The book tells us so.
Thank you so much, Nancy, for sharing